A question that I get asked very frequently is, which one is faster, the K1 visa or the CR1 visa? But time is only one thing that you should consider when you're making the decision as to whether to file for a K1 visa or a CR1 visa. This is immigration attorney Amanda Thomas. In this video, I'm going to discuss the pros and cons of both the K1 visa and the CR1 visa. So keep watching so that you can find out which one might be best for your situation. So first, I'm going to discuss the K1 visa. Generally speaking, the K1 visa is going to get your fiance here in the United States faster. I say generally because processing times take a lot of different factors into consideration. Processing times depend on a lot of different factors, including which processing center your application is getting processed through, which embassy your significant other will have to have their interview at, and even things like world events. So generally speaking, the K1 visa is going to be faster to get your fiance actually on US soil. But in my experience, I have seen the CR1 visa go very quickly as well. Processing times can be unpredictable, but the K1 visa was designed to be faster than the CR1 visa. Another pro of the K1 visa is that it will allow you to get to know your significant other more before you get legally married. Oftentimes, when people are in international relationships, they don't have a traditional dating period. People in international relationships may have only spent a limited period of time actually face-to-face with their significant other. Filing for the K1 visa will allow you not only to get to know your significant other during the processing time, but it will give you 90 days to experience how life is with them in the United States before you have to get legally married. That is 90 days to see how they fit into your lifestyle, see what it's like to live with them, see how they get along with your family, if you have any children, to see how they get along with them, but also to see how they adjust to life in the United States. Now, all of this sounds really good, but there are some downsides to the K1 visa that don't exist with the CR1 visa. A K1 visa is just a visa. That means that it is simply permission to enter the United States. The K1 visa doesn't grant any permanent legal status to the beneficiary. Once the K1 visa beneficiary enters the United States, you then have 90 days to get married, or that person has to leave. If you do get married within those 90 days, then you have to go through the process of filing for a green card and filing for a work authorization for your K1 visa beneficiary. This means that once your K1 beneficiary enters the United States, you spend 3 months getting to know each other, then you get married, then you file for your application for green card, and then you have to wait the rest of the processing times to get the work authorization and to get the green card. The biggest problem for people in this position is generally that the non-citizen can't work. They can't work for a really long period of time. As I'm making this video, we have a really long backlog in work authorizations, and it is taking people about 10 months to get their work authorization. And that's on top of the 3 months that you spent here on the K1 visa. And that can be really isolating for a person who is living in a foreign country. And it can also be really hard on the American citizen spouse because they are fully responsible for financially supporting a whole other person for many, many months. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about what this CR1 visa is and the pros and cons to that. A CR1 visa is a spousal visa. It stands for Conditional Resident, CR1. An application for a CR1 visa is actually an application to get your beneficiary a green card through overseas processing. Now, this can be really good in a lot of ways. Doing it this way will save you months of time. Having a green card immediately upon entering the United States means that your spouse would immediately be eligible to work. Also, it means that your spouse does not have to wait in the United States while their green card application is pending. It means that they can take trips outside of the United States temporarily immediately upon entering. Whereas if you file for a green card on the K1 visa, you have to stay in the United States the entire time while your green card application is pending. Now, some of the downsides to the CR1 visa is that, of course, it takes longer and it takes more work. And one of the final things that I would like to discuss about this topic is cost. A K1 visa generally costs less money up front, but it will cost more money in the long term. That is because an application for a K1 visa is just an application for a visa. It still takes a lot of work to get the K1 visa, but once the beneficiary enters the United States, you then have to go through another expensive process to apply for the green card and to apply for the work authorization. The cost of a CR1 visa is generally more upfront, but it costs less over time. It costs more upfront because there's more work to do upfront, because you're asking for a green card instead of just a visa. But it costs less over the long term because once your beneficiary enters the United States, they will already have a green card. You don't have to go through the whole process. So as you can see, there is more to making this decision than just what is going to get your person here faster. What is best for you depends on your particular situation. If you liked this video, if you found it helpful, if you would like to be notified whenever I post anything new, of course, please like this video and subscribe.